Today we've got the management team, we've got Ben and Ryan Wharton. Ryan, your first time doing this. Why did you come back to Hendon?
Several reasons really. I think when Ben gave me the call, I couldn't say no. One, we worked very closely together when we did our UFB licence, and very same mindset. Really passionate young managers, want to sort of be in the game and impart what we can to the youngsters and seasoned players that have been here, and also playing here as well. So I think for me it's like home from home. I miss it playing, and I think it's the next best thing when you step across the line and bark instructions and hopefully have a positive impact on the team.
Ben, we've lost the game this time like Tuesday against a Step 3 team. Some good bits, but some frustrating areas on the pitch too.
Yeah, I think just obviously like we were speaking before, like we always do, and just had a bit of a debrief. I said to you, and I think if people were watching it, I think in the first half we set out today to try something in terms of a shape, which is obviously what these games are all about. I think you could, not just us in the bench, potentially people that were watching, from a fan's perspective, you could see that we were struggling in terms of marrying up what we were doing compared to what they'd set up. And I think if you look at a league game situation, we would have made a change after 10 minutes. Just in regards to, we probably had one too many strikers as such on the pitch to nullify what they were doing, and the game was crying out for a wide man from us, which we didn't set up with at the start. But obviously to make that change after 10 minutes in a pre-season game is very difficult, just because of what you're trying to do, and we wanted to see just from our perspective what that could do. However, I think take away tactics, take away minutes and all those type of things. I think the 2 goals that we conceded at the start of the game to make them go 2-0 up are a calamity from us. They won't be acceptable in any football match. I think if you're going to start with those type of mistakes against a team like this, they're going to punish you, and then straight away you've got an uphill battle. So you can talk all you want, but the 2 goals that we've conceded on our part, in the way we've put ourselves under pressure, put teammates in trouble in major areas so early on in a game is not good. But I think just in regards to the first half and how we could nullify what they were doing, it was quite difficult without making changes, which we did. And when we got to that 60-minute period, we were changing our shape straight away in terms of our plan of today. And I think on the eye and the balance of the game, it allowed us to get a little bit more control, a little bit higher up the pitch, stop them getting out as easy when we kind of changed what we were doing. So yeah, it was a difficult one to judge. What I would judge is the fact that we've conceded 2 goals from horrendous mistakes.
When we were 3-0 down, it could have been 6, it could have been more, but it improved. Ryan, from your perspective, you were a defender, so you must find this even more frustrating in your own way maybe than Ben does.
Yeah, and I think sometimes I wish I'd put my boots back on and go back out there and,
I think sometimes we wish you put your boots
I know, shame it's age has caught up and I've hung the boots up. Yeah, and I think, like I said, we started to look at a bit of shape on Thursday, which was really, really beneficial. But again, we've had different personnel in there today. We've had another trialist in there. We've gone with a different left back, which I think Brad did really well. I think that's quite a solid area of the pitch. And again, it's just getting that units and that continuity at the back line, and with our goalkeeper, who's our first choice goalkeeper in there today. And if we can get that right, it's the foundations that we can then build on, and then hopefully we can start seeing clean sheets. And then, like I said, then we're scoring more goals the other end, and the results will be on the up.
After the Harringay game, nearly 2 weeks ago, you said to me, Ben, that it was important to win to start building team confidence. It's the only win we've had, but does it matter?
Yeah, I would say it still matters. I think today was obviously, at the end of the day, they're all friendlies. However, we was playing against a local rival and looking to test ourselves. But you can't kid yourselves in the fact that you've still got to try stuff. you've still got to manage people's minutes, and you've still got to look at players that, you know, aren't familiar on the pitch with others. So there is still that, but the winning mentality, I still stand by that, is quite a crucial thing. You know, and we'll look to kind of instill that in the next 3, especially as, you know, the last 2 come. I think you're going to be setting up the game to make subs as and when, as if you would on, you know, a typical league match. So I wouldn't say, you know, the winning mentality is not important. It definitely is, and I stand by that. Unfortunately, you know, we have been on the back of a couple of losses, but I think if you look at the bigger picture in terms of what you're trying and changing, you know, it's been a difficult period for us, just in regards to, I think, defensively, because I think if you look middle third going forward, I think there's a lot of quality that we've got there, and they've been areas of the pitch that we've been happy with. And we just, you know, we're at the back is something that we've got to get right very quickly. And listen, that comes with players becoming available. You know, our recruitment strategy going out, and it may be a case of we have to go out and, you know, be a little bit more demanding in terms of that position. And, you know, I think once we get that right, I think we've got the nucleus of a very, very good side. You know, I think, again, Josh has had a great game in goal. I don't think, you know, apart from the penalty where he's held his hands up in terms of his touch, but you've got to look at the 2 passages prior to that, before the ball actually gets to him. I think we're good in that kind of respect. I just think in front of him we've got to act quickly, because I think Ryan just said off camera, it will get to a stage where we've got 3 games left, and you need to kind of get that little triangle playing together to kind of get used to each other. But I think top ends of the pitch, we're in a good place, and, you know, we've almost got a lot of headaches in that respect. But yeah, back end of the pitch is something that we've got to sort very quickly, because we can't be going into games making mistakes like that.